Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. The markets are pumping a little bit, but what is going on? What is going on? Is this due to an actual trend change? Things are starting to look bullish? Or is this just another case of Michael Saylor buying and the price going up because of that? We've had equities fall back a little bit to start this week. Is crypto decoupling? All it takes is about 1 hour where S&P and Bitcoin don't do the same thing for people to start talking about decoupling. Is this a case of that, or is this just another case of Bitcoin potentially lagging and giving us an opportunity to get positioned before it catches up, which it seems to do pretty well. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in this stream. I hope all of you had a fantastic Easter. I hope your money is rising like Jesus did on whatever day he rose, on Easter. I hope your bread is rising. I hope you're making bank. I hope you had a blessed and healthy and good time with your friends and your family. But now it's time to get back into the charts. Do you want to know why? Because we have something interesting going on. Finally, for the first time in what feels like forever. Now, we've been watching this same setup for some time now. It just seems to be playing out. So, what we're going to be looking at here is all of the different coins that effectively failed to have weekly breakdowns. We saw a bunch of different coins that failed to break down on the weekly. Now, the question is, can the bulls get any follow through? So we're going to be starting off with Bitcoin here, which is now trading just under $90,000. So let me just get my little pen up here. So when I'm talking about a failed weekly breakdown, this is exactly what I'm looking at here, this SFP. Now, it doesn't have to be an SFP, okay? This, to me, here, right, even though this did SFP, this low, this is still a failed weekly breakdown because effectively we had a weekly low, price traded below it, but immediately got back above it, immediately reclaimed that old low. And so that, to me, is a failed weekly breakdown, which is a sign of potential bullishness, okay? Same thing like here. Had an opportunity to go lower, it didn't. Had an opportunity to go lower, and it didn't. Had an opportunity to go lower, failed, reclaimed, traded up. So that's effectively the setup that has been present over the last couple of weeks across Bitcoin, across Ethereum, across Solana, and across a variety of different altcoins. So the question is, did you guys take any of these trades, or are you an idiot like me and you decided to long the only one that basically didn't move? What did you guys do? Let me know, because we've been watching this. We've been watching this for a few streams now, and basically you could have taken the long on Bitcoin, Solana, a handful of alts, and done pretty well. And then, of course, if you took it on ETH, it's barely fucking moved. It had a little bit of a pop yesterday, and then it fully retraced today along with stocks, and then, Bitcoin's now trading almost at 90 and ETH's below 1,600. So I've always talked about, right, guys, it's not always about getting the highest beta play, right? Sometimes you got to take the one that's going to give you the best entry. Yeah, maybe BTC's outperforming Sol, but you see a better setup on Sol. Well, I saw what I thought was the best setup on ETH, and of course, that's the one that just did fuck all and it didn't move. Did I get my 10K steps in today? Yes, I did. I fucking did. I've gotten 10K steps in every single day, basically, for a month straight. Every day for like a month straight. Let's see if I can pull this bad boy up here. I hit 11K today. Look at that. Can you see that? 10,200 steps average over the last month. And that's because I'm not always wearing the Whoop either. Anyways. So lots of failed breakdowns across the board, right? So we had ETH or Bitcoin trade below that old weekly low. We've been watching this low for literally weeks, right? And we talked about this 3 drives. We've been talking about this move. Then if you go in on the lower time frames here, Bitcoin gave you a breaker setup, right? Right here. That's pretty clean. And then we also had this breaker. This is actually technically a mitigation block before some ICT Kool-Aid drinker comes in here and he's like, it's not a breaker. The difference between a mitigation block and a breaker block is a mitigation block, okay? It's the exact same except it doesn't take a low. So do you guys want me to explain that to you any further, or do you not give a shit? Just let me know. But we had watched this breaker and we had said, hey, like this is where it's going to hold if it's going to hold. And as you can see here, nice little pop up on Bitcoin over the last few days after consolidating above that breaker for several days. Solana, exact same thing, beautiful setup, and we mapped this one out as well. We had the failed weekly breakdown. So in this instance, it did not SFP, but it's still a failed weekly breakdown because it traded below and it instantly reclaimed. This and then this. Okay, so this is, let's say this is an SFP and this one isn't. You trade them the exact same. Okay? You trade them the exact same. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't have to be an SFP. Why don't you just do running? Running is gay. I hate running. How many jacked runners are there out there? Running people, like there's tons of like science behind this as well. People who run all the time, like they're fucking all gaunt and fucking skinny from the pounding on the pavement. It's not good. I walk 10K steps. That's not my cardio. That's just the baseline every single day to get the body moving. I work out, and then I do 150 minutes of cardio as well. So that will either be riding the bike, fucking shit like that. Sometimes I go swimming. I play basketball. I go snowboarding in the winter, but I get 150 minutes of cardio on top of the walking as well. Ashton Hall doesn't run long distance, though. He does sprints in like a fucking abandoned parking lot. Anyways, this is the exact same thing. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it SFPs or it doesn't. You trade it the same way. Stop texting me. Leave me alone. Okay. Did someone say you guys want me to explain the mitigation block? Okay, I'll explain it. So this is a breaker. Okay. Right? It's a failed bearish order block in this instance is a bullish breaker. So it breaks a low, comes back, breaks through, SR flip. This is a mitigation block. It's effectively the exact same thing. Like this could have been a bearish order block, except for it didn't end up taking out the low. Same fucking thing. All right. Anyways, so Solana, same idea here. We had a weekly breakdown, but it failed to break lower. We marked this out for you guys. There's no excuse. I literally drew this. I drew this on stream. Okay. We had the sweep right into the breaker and bang. Soul traded from 120 up to 140 now. So there was opportunities to take longs on Solana, on Bitcoin. This is just if you took off the breaker, not even refining to lower than the 12-hour. Bitcoin, we had this breaker marked for weeks, multiple streams in a row. Okay. And I said, okay, you know what I'm going to take? I'm going to long Ethereum. Now, you might say, Trader Main, why would you long Ethereum? Is it because you're retarded? Is it because... Hold on. Is it because you're retarded? Yes, it is. It is because I'm retarded. Is it because I like pain? Yeah, I enjoy pain. Is it because I like suffering? Yeah, it is because I like suffering. So instead of longing Bitcoin or Solana, which are clearly both much stronger, I choose to long ETH because I thought the setup on ETH was good. I said, damn, okay, this thing's giving me the best risk reward here, right? We had our hourly breaker. We came in, we broke structure. I talked about this. I posted it on Telegram too. I gave you the entire setup on Telegram. Remember? This is after last stream. Let me just pull it up. I need my clout. Don't you fucking act like I don't need the clout. I need the clout. I live on the clout. Remember? Back above Monday's low. This thing should go. And what happened? It came up. It gave us the structure break. We got filled. Then it started ripping. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. We're in. And then what happens? Stocks dump. ETH fully retraces the move and makes a low below where your stop would have been. So I usually, when I'm entering a trade, I will put my stop. So let's assume that I'm taking this trade here, right? And I'm entering on the breaker and I'm putting my stop below the SFP, right? And then I'm aiming for the highs, whatever. I will usually give the stop like a couple of points, right? Because there's spread, things like that. I don't want to get caught out where like, hey, I had my stop directly at the low and I got stopped when in reality, like it only went there. So if you go on the spot exchange, it didn't run the low. But if you go on the perps exchange, it did. So I'll always give it a little bit of room. But if you would have had it giga tight here, you could have gotten wicked out here and then it instantly bounced and it's like back near your entry now. So Bitcoin is trading higher than it was when Ethereum was trading at $16.50. Ethereum is now trading $60 lower and Bitcoin is higher. So I had the option to long Bitcoin, to long Solana. Fucking A, I could have longed Fartcoin. Where did Fartcoin come into? Remember we drew this out, the 12-hour order block last stream? Anyone remember? It's up 45%. But what do I long? I long fucking ETH because I'm a fucking retard. And that's just what it is. And it happens sometimes, you know? But I've been living as a retarded person now for 42 and a half years. That's a long time to be retarded. It's exhausting. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is what I thought was going to happen, happened. I hope you made some money. I decided to long ETH, so I didn't make any. Capiche? Good? Great. Fartcoin gave a perfect H1 breaker entry. It gave multiple, dude. Look at this. Like, look. This is a breaker on the H1. There's an H1 order block. Here's another H1 order block. Yeah, it wicked through, but it never broke structure. This is an H1 breaker right here. This is an H1 breaker right here. Maybe that's the one you're referring to. Tons of great entries here on Fartcoin on the low time frame. You know what didn't have any of those? Fucking Ethereum. What is this? Who's Nick? You're not 42, LOL. You're right, Nick. I'm 42 and a half. I'm 42 and a half, you piece of shit. Like, who is this guy acting like he knows who I am? I know you're not a big Elliott wave guy, but I've been using it alongside ICT and it works really well. Here's the thing. You can use other confluences with price action. You do not have to only use one. One of the biggest problems people have is they'll say, okay, well, I use Elliott Wave or I use the Ichimoku Cloud, and that's all I'm going to use. All of the best Elliott Wave guys that I know, Blunts, Credible, all those guys, they all use price action as well. Why do you think Elliott Wave works so well with ICT or price action? It's because it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. It's just a different way to look at it. So if you were to go and draw out some Elliott Waves, this is how good I know Elliott Wave. I don't even know where to find it on here. Okay? And you have your ABC correction or whatever. Is the ABC not supposed to like form right in like the 61.8? Like into that fib pocket? Like it's all, they all line up, and then your extensions are the 1.1618 and all that shit. It all is the same. Price works in measured moves. And if you understand price action, you understand Elliott Wave, you absolutely can use those things together. Because what would an impulse be? Well, like an impulse or a 5-wave impulse, like you could be like, okay, well, this to me was your, like, how do we know we're going to go up from here? Well, it's like, okay, don't you need like a 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5? Is that your 5-way impulse? And then you have maybe like a 3-leg correction, like 1, 2, 3, ABC, and then another impulse. Like you can do this shit. Oh, okay, my correction corrected us right into a breaker, right into demand. Like you can combine that shit 100%. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself to one thing, to one style. Yeah, I'm wearing a gallery department hat and an Equinox shirt. That's how you know I got it like that. What's up, Euphoric Vibe? What's up, Trader TM? You shorted 86, 88.6. I do think we're probably going to get a little bit of a pullback here. Like we're in the process of running these highs. And in theory, we haven't technically broken structure yet. So there's really two scenarios that I see here. We'll go over to this one. Remember how we had our downtrend line here? Right? Like we're breaking through the downtrend line, or however you want to draw it. So I really see like two scenarios. Scenario one is the shallow pullback. Obviously the most bullish scenario. And then a move up towards here, right? Because it's very clear we're clearing this trend line. But there's another scenario where, let's say stocks. So Tesla's got earnings tomorrow, I believe. And there's a very good chance they probably miss their earnings. So there's a scenario where stocks, right, fall hard tomorrow, maybe on Tesla's earnings. These things got more to slip. And then we get a larger correction down to here. And then we go up, right? But to me, that just gives us similar structure to what we had back here, right? So either way, I'm pretty confident we are going to test this before potentially lower. I feel pretty confident that we're going to come up to here. The question is it like this or is it potentially like this? And I think that largely depends on equities. And so if you look at equities, and I posted this today, I said ideally this puts in a higher low somewhere here within this price leg, and we get one more push to the upside before a potential new low. That would line up with Bitcoin, in my opinion, trading into the mid 90s. Do I see the SFP of March's high? Like, are you talking about like back here? Because that's March's high. March's high is way up there. You could be talking about some random high over here, right? But that's why I just said it's in the process of running some highs. So some sort of pullback is not completely out of the question. This guy says, it will not, mark my words, it will not what? I'm up $3 per share on my Tesla scalp today. Good luck. Earnings tomorrow. Is my title clickbait, or are we actually going down to 60K? I don't know. I think there's a good chance that we trade to here before here. Whether or not we trade down here, I have no idea. I still think it's very much a possibility. Right? Remember, like if we're pricing in this fractal or whatever that everyone was watching, like we can still hang out down here. So I think there's a good chance we go and tag the yearly open from here. BTC is bullish. Look at the previous daily close. I was telling you to long a week ago. Who are you to tell me to look at yesterday's close, bro? I told you to long a week ago. Yeah, Fartcoin is just insane, dude. Just insane. Any suggestions for taking trades on altcoins for intraday or day trade? I don't really know what your question is. Like, what are we asking here? Like, just like, what should you do to trade altcoins? I mean, you want to look for things that are volatile, obviously, and then ideally you want to trade on the long side when Bitcoin's at support and on the short side when Bitcoin's at resistance. That's going to give you the best results. Yeah, we do have Monday's range now on BTC and on ETH. So we can watch those. And that Monday low lines up very well with that order block that I had marked for a shallow pullback. Do I have any coins I suggest? No, dude. I mean, go look at what's volatile. Like, Fartcoin seems to be like a dream to trade. It just scares me with how volatile it is. And I'm just an idiot, and I'd rather trade Ethereum, apparently. Is an H1 bear div possible? Anything's possible if you put your heart to it, bro. Put your heart and your mind in it. Anything is possible. Can I dunk? Not anymore. Too old now. 42.5. I'm not LeBron James. Bear adjacent. I'm 43. I lost my whole existence trading. I'm unemployed and my fam can't stand me. Well, here's the thing, bro. You didn't lose everything because clearly your family is still talking to you if they're telling you that they can't stand you. So what I would say is keep going until it's gotten so bad that your family cuts off all communication. How much can I deadlift? I don't know. Like, I used to deadlift a lot. So I have no idea what my 1 rep max is. But, like, now I use, like, I don't know, 275 to 315, and I just go for reps as opposed to just trying to do, like, one really, really heavy one. But, like, at my peak a few years ago, I was deadlifting over 4 plates. Jorge says, hey, Nick, I'm the guy who made $8 million off your peanut call. Glad to see you're still trading. Your big break will come. Keep grinding. Thank you, Jorge. I hope you get hit by a bus when you leave your house. Kidding. Yeah, 1 rep max just doesn't really make sense. I don't know how to pronounce your name because it's like fucking like Greek or something, but I already answered your question about the H1 div. Anything is possible, bro. Like I don't use RSI. Is it playing out? I don't know, bro. You tell me. You tell me. Does this look like a bear div? I would say yes. It also just ran Monday's high. So is there a chance that this pulls back? Absolutely. So short it then. Take the short. Best vacation spot in the U.S. I mean, you would have to ask an American. I'm from Canada. Would you ever trade NQ and ES? I trade NQ and ES all the time. You guys forget I gave you the fucking Schmeeko Pico low of this fucking dump here? Do you guys not remember this? We caught the absolute Pico low of this entire fucking move. 200 plus point rally. I trade ES. I used to trade ES and shit all the time, just not really anymore. Like you don't record PRs every time you go to the gym, dude, for real. Once you get older, you stop ego lifting, bro. You stop ego lifting. I lift so I feel good, I look good, and so I remain mobile and active. I'm not interested in trying to continually hit PR. Am I doing progressive overload? Yeah. And then I'll switch exercises when I get bored of something. But like I'm not always deadlifting. I'll deadlift for 6 weeks and then I'll switch to something else. Do I find BTC or PA cleaner on BTC or NQES? I prefer trading Bitcoin, but it's what I know way more. I have way more hours spent staring at Bitcoin than I do staring at any other asset. So we can look at things like, let's just go down the list here. Sol USD, we already talked about. Sol ETH just looks like it wants to continue to trade higher, right? Like I think this is the highest ever close we had on last week, and then we had another one this week, and I mean this just looks really strong. ETH BTC is insane looking. So like with something like this, like okay, we have this draw below us, right? So this is a big low here. So that's our draw below us. But at this point, you have enough here where if you want to long this thing, like and you want to long ETH, Which, why would you do that? You must be fucking retarded if you want a long ETH. And it's like, hi, my name's Trader Main. I'm applying for the position of retard. And they're like, wow, you're perfect for the role. You're exactly what we need. And then, yeah, so if that's you, I would just wait for like this to be a deviation. Like if ETH is going to rip, like this needs to become a deviation and this thing needs to get back in the range, right? But you just run the risk of, you know, we kind of had that here where we had a range and it just never was able to get back in. So that's, excuse me. That's the same here. If we can reclaim this range, ETH starts looking okay for some relief. If we come up here and reject like we did here, we probably leg down again down to there. Is ETH actually a good investment or is it over? Jorge, you have $8 million you made from Peanut. Why the fuck would you worry about putting your money in ETH, bro? Put half of that in a fucking relatively low risk stock portfolio. Like get a financial advisor to help you put something together that's going to kick off 6-7% a year. And you're just living off of that. And then you still got $4 million that you can take some more risk with. Do you think we're due for a Trump rug pull? What do you think we've been experiencing? What do you think's been happening? Trump rug pull? This is the day he went into office. The rug has been pulled, okay? The rug has been pulled, thrown out in the garbage, co-opted by some homeless guy who's now using it as the floor of his fucking makeshift shack down on East Hastings. The rug has been pulled and annihilated. Bro, if you got $8 million, I don't know if you're trolling or not, but if you have $8 million and you got lucky by buying like a meme coin and you made $8 million, the last thing you should do is put your money back into crypto because there's a good chance you have no idea what you're doing and you just got really lucky and you basically won the lottery. If you make $8 million, $5 million, some ungodly amount of money to you where you're like, holy shit, I have no idea how I made this. What do I do now? What I would do is I would speak to a professional or go read some books on how to invest in the traditional market. And I would put some of that money into some stuff that's relatively low risk, that's going to kick off a relatively consistent percentage over a long period of time, right? If you have $1 million, okay, and you can get it into an index fund, right? So you can get it into sorry, one sec here. Yeah, you put it into some relatively conservative fund. And these exist. A financial advisor can help you get into this, a wealth manager, right? And you could put in $1 million and this thing can kick off, let's say conservatively, like 6 to 7%. Like that's not that insane. It's not that insane. Maybe even less. Let's be super conservative because there's going to be down years. Okay, let's say it's even 5%. This is 50 racks a year on only $1 million. So if you have $4 million, you're now getting $200K a year and your principal's not even going down. You're just living off the interest. Now you have $4 million still in cash, which by all means, go buy some real estate, go put it in some more risky stuff. You want to buy Bitcoin, whatever. But don't delude yourself into thinking that you just won the lottery and, oh, I can do it again. Most of you won't, right? Most of you won't. That's one of the biggest problems with the trenching stuff. Like there's a very small group of people who are making money on meme coins. The vast majority of people are getting absolutely hosed. Like they're getting destroyed. But you retards like to put up people on a pedestal, right? So you think that, oh, this person's doing it, therefore I can do it. And that person is likely telling you you can do it. They're saying, keep trenching, don't give up. And I'm not trying to shit on your parade and tell you that you can't do things. You can. You should try. I'm not saying you shouldn't try. I'm just saying realize that it's really fucking hard and the odds are against you. And so if you get unbelievably lucky, don't go and just give that money back to the fucking market. That'd be one of the worst things you can fucking do. If Jorge really made $8 million, he wouldn't be in this chat. Blair, there's billionaires in this chat right now lurking, waiting for Trader Main to drop some wisdom so they can turn their 1 billion, which is gay, one single billion, into multiple billions, which is super fucking cool. So they're in this chat trying to get secrets from the OG. And I might bless them with a couple of secrets. What is that tool on your TradingView chart? This is called Epic Pen. It's not part of TradingView. Let's go, Crypto Face, baby. Speaking of fucking billionaires, Crypto Face, future billionaire, in the chat right now. Am I playing Monday's range today? If it sets up. What are you thinking, Crypto Face? Are you short in here? Are you long in? What are you doing, bro? I think if we do something like this, I'd be interested in longing. I don't know if it pulls back that far, but yeah, Warren Buffett's in the chat asking when he should rotate out of bonds back into risk. He's waiting to hear from me. Bitcoin dominance still going up. Still going up. People will look you dead in the face and tell you that it's alt season with this. Maybe soon, once it does this, then it'll be alt season. Yeah, Barron Trump definitely is a lurker. Woke up to a little 200 piece, my boy. He says, I would close and take my profits, but I'm not gay. That's the right answer because he knows damn well eventually this thing's trading over 90K. We all know it's happening. Yeah, Alex Becker has been telling everyone that you just got to hold ETH and RWA coins and AI coins and you're going to make it. Let's look at ETH. Yikes. Let's look at some AI coins. Uh-oh. Not looking so good. Especially since he's been telling you to buy and hold them like from up here. But hey, keep liking his tweets. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You sold the bottom of 75K and you haven't bought back yet. Are you cooked? It's over for you, bro. It's over for you. You are never going to make it, bro. You're going to be poor forever. You didn't buy here. And now we're here. It's over. Pack it up. Quit. You saw Blunt saying that we retest 35K within the next 2 years. What do you think? So, I mean, Blunt's thesis is basically that the top is in and that we are going to see like an 85% decline, right? Like that would be not even 85%, 68%. So, like just basically, you know, right back into there. Is it possible? Anything's fucking possible. If we go into thermonuclear fucking war with Russia or Iran or some shit, Yeah, like anything's possible. The question you have to ask yourself is the top in or not? Because if the top is in, then there's a very good chance that this entire consolidation here gets taken out. And this just becomes a big boom, boom. Right? And then maybe some shit like that. Who knows? But if the top is not in and you think we're repeating this, then what you're waiting for is one more push. And this requires, I think, some pretty good luck for our boy President Trump, in that he's got to figure something out with China, and they got to get Jerome Powell to fucking, lower those rates. So I don't know, man. Do you think BTC is a risk asset akin to equities, or a flight at safety store value akin to gold? I feel like it can't be really both. More likely or not, it will tread water and go nowhere. So rather than answer that for you, I'm going to pull up a couple of charts and you tell me what you think, okay? So on the first chart, we're going to have Bitcoin here. And we're going to look at this on the weekly time frame, okay? The next chart, I'm going to pull up the NASDAQ. Okay, which is a bunch of tech stocks, risk assets. And then over here, I'm going to pull up gold. Okay, so here's Bitcoin. Here's the NASDAQ. Okay, and here's gold. So on the highest time frame, right, they're all going up and to the right. So you might say, okay, well, Bitcoin's going up and to the right. Gold's going up and to the right. But what you need to look at here is Bitcoin and the NASDAQ in this most recent pullback. Because if Bitcoin was like gold, what you would see is when Trump came in and we started having the turmoil, what happened to Bitcoin? It basically topped. What happened to the NASDAQ? It basically topped. And what happened that same time period for gold? This is the problem. So everyone who's telling me that, oh, Bitcoin is like gold, it's like a flight to safety, blah, 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 the evidence suggests otherwise. The evidence suggests, in fact, that Bitcoin reacts just like a risk asset during times of global uncertainty and a potential risk-off environment, where gold does what gold does. And if you look at it even on a lower time frame, I mean, look at the highs and lows on Bitcoin and the NASDAQ here. There's a high. There's your high before the dump, right? Where was the last all-time high on Bitcoin? Right here. What happened to NASDAQ? It went into a 30% decline. Like, there's your top of the last cycle. This is basically the top of the NASDAQ here. You know what I mean? Big pullback, big pullback. We're just a higher beta risk asset. There's been no evidence yet that Bitcoin is this. Now, would I like it to be? Right now, sure. Everyone's saying, oh, this is the perfect environment for Bitcoin to do what it's meant to do. But it's that's great right now, but I'm much happier with Bitcoin being a risk asset over the last 10 years because we've been in a risk asset bull run. Everyone only wants Bitcoin to be like gold when gold is going up and Bitcoin's not. But in fact, Bitcoin has just been a giga high beta risk asset. It's actually quite interestingly performed pretty well versus like the NASDAQ. Is this going to work? Yeah, so this is Bitcoin versus the NASDAQ. It's actually outperformed. So yeah, like on the way down, it nukes harder. But it's like making all-time highs versus the NASDAQ. So that's a good thing, right? But like this is just typical of crypto Twitter. Gold's going up. There's global uncertainty. Oh, Bitcoin is built for this. And then the stock market's ripping and they're like, oh, Bitcoin's risk on with the rest of the stock market. It needs to rip now. Like everyone wants everything all the time. And everyone's an idiot, basically. The majority of people are very stupid. So when you look at Twitter, you got to realize like you're digesting a lot of terrible information, a lot of very, very bad information from ill-informed people, from not very smart people. Are there nuggets of gold? Are there absolute like giga chads who are worth multi-millions of dollars sharing their thoughts on there for free? Yeah. But there's also like so many retards. So you just got to be very careful with what you consume on there. And at the end of the day, do your own research and make your own decisions because it's your money. Like it's your money that you're risking every single time you take a trade. And whether or not you're like Jorge and you just copied me and made some money and got lucky, that's great. But if Jorge would have put $1 million into something that I was bullish on and it didn't work out, do you think he'd be in the chat being stoked? No, he'd probably be yelling at me. I bought this because TraderMain said so and it went down. It's your money. I take zero credit for someone making money because they did something that I say. Am I going to try and collect clout? Am I going to say, Jorge, you made $8 million. Where's my fucking tip, you stingy fuck? Yeah. But he pressed the button. I didn't do shit. Right? So it's your money at risk. You need to be sure of what you're doing. Dream My Reality says BTC has been captured. There's way more than 21 million supply available on exchanges. It's manipulated. There's not even 21 million Bitcoin in existence, bro. Because they haven't all been mined yet. Furthermore, there's Bitcoin that's been completely lost. So I'm not quite sure there's more than 21 million on exchange. I think that you might be wrong. Bro, honest question. How is today even possible to make, for example, $50K to $1 million in crypto? You got to get a 20x. You got to get a 20x, right? So how can you get a 20x? You could get lucky buying a meme coin. You could, invest in something, but like buying 50K worth of Bitcoin is not going to make you $1 million, at least not anytime soon. So how do you get a 20x? How much risk are you willing to take? Are you trading or are you just trying to buy something and hope that it works out for you? Got a nice SFP at Monday's high here. I wonder if it gave a low time frame trigger. Not really. You could argue raid candle and then, but the MSB came. The MSB on the 5 minutes there. I wonder if there's one on the M1. Man, yeah, that's spicy. You would have just had to enter on the SFP because even the M1, the market structure breaks all the way down there, which is already fucking like a full $1,000 off the high. I actually would much prefer. So this would be a mitigation block here, by the way, right? Because it's a breaker, but it didn't take out the high. But if we do this on the 5 minute, like we invert the fair value gap, I think there's a pretty good chance that this nukes all the way back down to Monday's low. If we do that. What do I think about Ripple buying Hidden Road for $1.25 billion? Here's the thing. I don't even know what Hidden Road is. So there. Investing in early project actually works. Not usually. Usually they go to fucking zero. Definitely has been way over 21 million on exchanges. Now, what are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about like on order books? I mean, sure, but there's only 21 million Bitcoin, whatever the number is. 21, 21 and a half, I forget. This guy says, hi, thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of Breakout. I really appreciate it. This is one of the best things I've discovered in crypto. Forever grateful to you. Learned so much from your channel too. Hell yeah, dude. Congrats. Appreciate you. Thank you. Are you worried about Sailor? Keep buying it all. Yeah, I think yes. I'm worried about Sailor a little bit. Buying and owning like 2% of the entire Bitcoin supply. It's a little bit worrisome. Afterthoughts. Hey, Maine, I made around 200K in December, January of AI shitcoins. Trying to do my taxes now. I have no idea where to start. I'm in Canada, specifically in BC. I would get an accountant, bro. They want to enter every trade I made, but pretty sure I used a lot of throwaway Phantom wallets, and I have no idea what the PKs are. I don't know what PKs are. To get that information, the passkeys. Am I cooked? So you have a few options here. Afterthoughts. And it seems like you were thinking about your tax planning was a bit of an afterthought, wasn't it? Because you don't have all the info. Get it? Very funny. So you have a few options here, okay? Option number 1, evasion, okay? The government doesn't know this one simple trick to get out of paying your taxes. You just evade them. You simply don't pay. Now, what are the pros and cons of this, okay? Well, the pros, okay? No tax. What's the other pro? It's kind of badass. Not going to lie. It's kind of badass to not pay your taxes because taxation's kind of theft. So, no tax, big pro. It's kind of badass. Another one of the pros that people might not talk about is your money isn't going to be wasted. You live in BC like me, your money isn't going to be wasted by the government. So no gov waste. Okay? Those are the pros for tax evasion. Pretty slick. What are the cons? Well, jail. Not good. Right? Jail. Lifetime of audits. So you got to weigh out the list here and decide which of these options might make more sense for you. This guy says he's clipping it and sending it to the IRS. I don't even live in America. Now, would I suggest doing this? No. You want to know why? Because even if you don't get caught, eventually you could. And there's not really a statute of limitations in which the government can go back and look at your shit. So what I would suggest doing is get a very good accountant to help you. And when in doubt, your cost basis is 0. So let's say you made 50K buying coin X, right? And you say, well, I don't know what my cost basis was. Because if your cost basis was 10K, your gain, right, is 40,000. 50% of that gain is taxable in Canada. So really, you only have to pay tax on a $20,000 gain on something where you made 40, and then this gets taxed by your rate, okay? But if you don't know what your cost basis was, then simply assume it was 0. And just this becomes 50, this becomes 25. That's the safest way to do it, is you pay the full amount of tax. But I suggest speaking to a professional. And making sure you get it done in time. December is last tax year. January is this tax year. Jail is probably better than longing ETH. The tax is not 50%. 50% of the gain is taxable. Our actual capital gains tax rate works out very similar to the tax rate in America. If you make $100,000 in America, capital gain, you times this by the cap gain rate. I don't know what it is, 21% or 15 or 25. I don't know what it is. Okay? And then that's your tax. In Canada, if you make 100K, 50% of the gain is taxable. So only 50K is taxed by your tax rate as income. So it works out very similarly. It's not 50% tax, 50% of the gain is taxed. So in US, you're paying tax on the entire gain. In Canada, you're only paying tax on half of it. Fuck taxes. That's why Dubai is better. So you have a trade-off. You can live in Dubai, in the desert, surrounded by some of the worst people on the planet. Some awesome people, but some of the worst people on the planet go to Dubai. No nature, right? But it's a tax haven. Or you can live, in Canada, pay a lot of tax, but my family's here. You can live in America. Everywhere's got positives and negatives, man. Taxes are gay. I agree with you, but I don't want to live in Dubai. New SEC chair did get sworn in, and he seems to be pro-crypto, so that's good. This guy says just take endless loans. Well, that's a good idea as well. I saw a TikTok of a guy who's got 100 Amexes. He's like, I just open up new LLCs and then I get a new Amex. So, listen, everyone's out there hustling, dude. It's what we love to see. What else do we want to look at here? The bond rates are kind of creeping up pretty high. We talked about these already. Fart coin, not much to say here. If this breaks out. If this breaks out, it's just going to rip again, I guess. Pretty insane. We can look at XRP. This is one of the weaker coins, in my opinion. All right, we have that $2 level, remember, from way back here. And it's just hanging on, right? So it's got the same setup as ETH and Bitcoin and Sol, but it's weaker, right? So whereas Bitcoin and Sol ripped, ETH and XRP are just kind of hanging out. So if the whole market pumps, this will probably get dragged up. But what you got to worry about here is if we lose this level, I think we trade to here. And then there's a lot of air down here. So hanging on by a thread. What really matters for XRP, in my opinion, is the rest of the market going up. If Bitcoin and the rest of the market rolls over, I think that this can probably overperform to the downside. When will they try and unban the good exchanges like Bybit? Using a VPN sucks. I bet you they don't ever. I don't think that the US and Bybit and Binance are ever going to work well together. I think it's much more likely that other exchanges that already have good footing in the US put together a better product to capture that market. Coinbase, Kraken, things like that. Man, is there a way to use my custom TV indicators on breakout prop? I've been using TV separately, but the price parity always is off no matter what pair I choose. Not yet. We're working on improving that, but we don't have that functionality yet, unfortunately. Do you have any insight on how to make money in crypto beside trading? Well, you can invest in Bitcoin long term. That's probably not a terrible way, but you need money to do that. During the bull run, there's tons of things you can do. Right? You can farm airdrops, right? Look at what happened with Hype, massive wealth creation event. So things like that, right? You can farm airdrops, you can join communities, you can get a job in crypto, ask to be paid in crypto, you can slowly accumulate things like Bitcoin. There's lots of ways that you can get some free money. Get affiliate links, build an audience. One thing people never talk about is having a personal brand. It's corny as hell. But dude, if you can get people to follow you, it's like free money. If you can get people to follow you, ideally by creating some kind of value. Like there's a lot of people who gain followers, like look at Murad just by being like a permabull, and it works for a while, right? But if you can get people to follow you, then great. You can have a ref link, you could have a community, right? If you provide value, people will pay you. Simple as that. So there's lots of ways to do it, but you can scam, right? You can be a rug puller. You can fucking drain people's wallets. You can phishing scam people. There's tons of ways to make money. Just depends on, you know, how moral are you? Are you a good person? Are you skilled? Are you going to work hard? You know? This guy says the key to wealth is scamming. I mean, listen, some of the richest people in crypto that I know all scam. They're all massive scammers. Like, and some of them are idolized, even though it's like, oh, this people just like farm their followers, or they just fucking tweet out fucking shitty coins that they're getting paid $1 million to tweet about. They're just scammers. But like, it is what it is, man. Game is game, right? Game is game. Can you work for me? No. Doug Funny on Twitter was a permabull. Loved him until March, and then they hated him. Yeah, I mean, this is super common. Like, you learn very, very early on, once the trend changes, who actually knows what they're talking about and who was just screaming to long no matter what happened. Why even chart BTC when there's XRP? Well, because if you look at XRP versus Bitcoin, this chart looks like kind of dog shit, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say that Bitcoin is probably a better asset than XRP? Like, it's outperformed for a couple of months here, but if you zoom out here, just looks like, you know, kind of dog shit versus Bitcoin. We can look at Tesla. So I believe Tesla's earnings are tomorrow. Am I correct? Q1 earnings. Wait. April 21st is today. So were there earnings today? I'm so confused. Yeah, their earnings are tomorrow. So their estimate is 21.34 billion. So we'll see what happens. If it's below estimate, you know, maybe this thing has another leg down. I don't really know. What's up, Juan Pablo? How you doing, bro? Yeah, earnings tomorrow. This is going to be one to watch, in my opinion. Tesla lawsuit so bad, Elon may have to leave Doge. I don't even know what the lawsuit is. Yeah, I mean, the XRP community is one of the strongest. And yeah, who knows? Maybe XRP replaces the Swift payment system. I have no fucking idea. But chart-wise, it's like pretty predictable to trade. What hat is that? It's gallery department. FET. FET. I haven't looked at this chart in a fucking while. I mean, I don't hate it. Pretty big level right there, I'd say. Dude, we're like less than a month away from breakout merch, I swear to God. So I love doing this website. It's the market cap calculator. Because people will be like, this coin's going to this much. So if we say XRP with the market cap of Bitcoin, okay? So people say XRP is going to $100. If XRP had the market cap of Bitcoin, it wouldn't even be $30. All right, so for it to go to $100, like I'm pretty sure you're fucking retarded. You're saying it's 3 times bigger than Bitcoin. It's not even 0.1 of Bitcoin's market cap. It's 0.07. And you're saying it's going to be 3 times Bitcoin's market cap to go to $100. Thank you, Sir Neck. What's up, Mez? How you doing, bro? I look baked. I don't smoke weed, my guy. Weed is for losers. Yeah, I mean, hype kind of did what we thought, right? Like, where is it here? It's reclaiming that big level. Remember, I had 17. This is the level we wanted to see reclaimed. And look where it is right now. So if the market's going to continue to rally, this is the level where you want to look for hype to potentially form a setup here. All right, like if it can hold this now, then this thing can really go. I'm a loser. I'm long ETH. I feel your pain, brother. I think Popcat can reach the BTC market cap. It might. Do you have any golden goose, man? I don't even know what that is. Jorge, XRP to $10 this cycle. Okay, Jorge, you should take that $8 million and put it in there. And that way, when you lose it all, I'll feel less bad about myself. Do you think ETH will get replaced by Sol in the next few years? In the next few years, I mean, isn't it kind of already done that? It does more transactions than ETH. Did it flip ETH in market cap ever? I don't know. You should live stream more often. I live stream 3 times a week. What else do you want from me, bro? I do this shit for free. You guys don't even pay me for this. I don't accept donations. Nada. No membership. It's all free. 3 times a week. Do more. Gold. We can look at gold. My thoughts on gold haven't changed really whatsoever. Like this thing's still continuing to rip. Ungodly. And a lot of people are going to continuously try and call top on this thing. Again, there's no reason. There's 2 ways that you trade this. Way number 1 is the dollar reclaims some levels. So like, let's say the dollar gets back above this low. Then maybe gold pulls back. That's way number 1. The second way that you can trade this is you wait for it to lose a level. There's no point in just trying to short this because you have no idea where it's going to top. But once it puts in a consolidation and gives you some levels to work with, like this, and then it loses that range, then maybe you can get into a trade. And there's just no sign of that yet. This is completely parabolic still. So I'd wait for it to put in like a floor. And then if it loses that floor, then you can consider shorting it. Coupled with the dollar bouncing. I just don't see that happening yet. I wouldn't rush into it. Naviz said hype going to be XRP's killer Kyuk. I don't know who Naviz is, and XRP and hype aren't remotely the same. What do I think about RWA assets? I think most cryptos are a scam. And I haven't really seen a ton of like real cool fucking shit out of the RWA sphere yet. And even if there is some cool shit, the coins are still generally getting smoked because the market's going down. What's up, Thickums? What's up, bro? H1 H1 Monday range low SFP with an H1 break on ETH. I don't know if I can long it. Yeah, the problem with the ETH setup here, right, is Bitcoin is run Monday's high. Like I would like this a lot more if they were both at Monday's low. Is Breakout easy to use? I think so, but you should watch all the tutorials and stuff that I've created because that will probably help. $5 XRP, but not for multiple years. Didn't it hit like fucking like $4 or something? How high did this motherfucker go? That's all? Like it hit 340. You're saying the highest it's going to go in years is 5? That's not very lofty. Thoughts on Cardano? I think Charles is one of the biggest fucking idiots on the planet, but he's a billionaire and I'm not, so maybe I'm actually the retard. I don't know what Cardano purports to do. I don't know who uses it. There's so many coins and charts that look way better than this. But again, if you like trading Cardano, you believe in Cardano, maybe you know something I don't know. If everyone is trying to sell their spot bags at 100K, why wouldn't the market front run and sell off before then? Or maybe it will blow through it and everyone sells and then it keeps going higher. What everyone wants to do is basically irrelevant. If you're making your decisions based on everyone, I think you're wasting your time. Very few people have the ability to like properly gauge sentiment of people and then execute on it. You're way better off just trading the chart. Do you play poker? I love playing poker. Check gaming coins. Like which one? My poor baby Beam looks like dog shit. Like everything looks fucking beat to shit. We're in desperate need of a giga pump on Bitcoin. Like desperate. Kingmaker trade, long BTC hype, Sol, short everything else. It's like you took that trade directly from Flood. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not a bad barbell. Better in a lot of stuff. Hi, Main, which way will it be profitable, investing or day trading, long and short? This has just become a Q&A. I'm not even like teaching you guys anything. You guys just like coming on here and yapping, huh? Fartcoin is at $1, and it is funny. Yeah, we got dogged real good. Wouldn't BTC Gigapump make BTC dominance even higher? Yes, but a rising tide raises all ships. Man, can you review the most recent H12, H1 short on BTC that got stopped out? Where? Here? So you have an H12 sweep. I think this probably went to target, assuming this is the one you're talking about. Oh, maybe not, actually. Yeah. So yeah, what happened here is you got stopped. Sometimes that happens. There, now it's kind of starting to roll here. I wonder if it hit that mitigation block. Did it? Ooh, it did, you dirty dog. You dirty dog. Oh, no, front ran it on the 5 minute. I thought you guys wanted to learn. I didn't know you wanted to hear me yap. I could just do a podcast. Maine, where's the honeymoon going to be so I could send a nice bottle of champagne? While that's a very nice thought, if you guys think I would ever tell you where me and my wife are going to be at the same time, you're nuts. How do you justify between letting a winner run or just TP on a winning trade? You've got to have rules, bro. You got to have rules, because what happens if you let the winner run and then it pulls back and you fucking get stopped? Like, what happens if you're in this and you're like, oh, damn, I'm just going to let it run, and then it does this. Then what? Right? Then what? The amount of times you're going to round trip and stuff letting winners run, you've got to have some rules. You've got to have a plan. Where are you taking profit and why? And then be comfortable with the fact that sometimes you're going to exit a trade and it's going to keep going. CryptoFace says, fun fact, Charles refuses to play poker. He wouldn't even play at his own event with 200 people in Vegas. I say next to his right-hand man, and I asked him why, and he said he just doesn't. I'm like, okay. Yeah, if you're hosting a poker event and you're not even going to play, that's fucking gay. When you have a low time frame setup within an high time frame OB, are you placing your stop off the low time frame breaker or the high time frame swing? Depends. Is that a good answer? It depends. Depends on the setup. Where's the swing? Did the breaker create the SFP? Right? Like if this is your H1 breaker and this is your H12 sweep, technically your val is here, but you could get away with putting it here. And oftentimes, especially in crypto, this will still work. What's the lowest time frame I'll find a setup? I'm usually not going anywhere below the 15-minute, but in theory, you can go down to the seconds. You can go to the minute. If there's no H12 sweep and I'm just trading within a high time frame order block, then the setup is based on the low time frame. That's where your invalidation is based. Yeah, the dollar is just not looking so hot, fam. When copy trading, when can I use 2050K accounts? Never. Tau looks interesting. Does it, though? I remember when everyone would fucking jerk off over this coin. What the fuck? I don't think that this looks more interesting than anything else. Like, it's moved nicely out of the bottom, but I don't have anything. I don't have any read on this chart unless it comes back there on the weekly. On the lower time frame, it's right into resistance along with Bitcoin. I'd buy a dip. Man, if you were to 5x your portfolio, say something like 100K, how would you do it? Bro, if I had the answer for you, you think I'd be doing these live streams? Like if it was easy, it's just think of the question you're asking me logically, right? You're saying if all I had to do was get a 5x, just a simple 5x. You know, some people will never get a 5x ever in their entire life. Like, we've become so desensitized to reality in crypto. Be like, oh, it's just a 5x. Nothing crazy. Just a simple 5 times my money. That alone is a crazy statement. But we're desensitized because you saw some guy hit 1,000x on some random meme coin, right? But what's crazier than that is to be like, what would you do to do it? Like, as if I'm just going to be like, oh, just buy this coin and it's a guaranteed 5x. How the fuck do I know? I have no idea. If I knew what coin was going to 5x next, do you not think I would put a few $1 million in it right now? Right? Like, it's not like asking that kind of question. And there's people that one of the things is there are people who with a straight face will say, just buy this and you're for sure going to 5x. Like, that's what's crazy. Oh, just buy this one coin and you're for sure going to get it. Now, if you like 2 years ago, yeah, Bitcoin would have given you a 5x. Ethereum would have given you a 5x. Solana, 5x. Like, there's tons of 5x's out there. Right? But, like, that's a very difficult question now. Like, Bitcoin's not going to 500K, I don't think. But maybe Bitcoin does a 2x. Let's say, okay, well then is there going to be a 5x somewhere? Yeah, but it's not going to be just obvious. Like, it's a lot harder at this point than it was 2 years ago. Look at where we came from. Okay. You're asking for a 5x here. Here, I could have given you lots of answers. Stuff is deeply discounted. Are there a ton of altcoins that have the potential to 5x still? If Bitcoin dominance rolls over? Absolutely. But the risk reward is way higher. Or it was way more sketchy than it was back here, right? Yeah, you could have longed Fartcoin a month ago. There's your 5x. Yeah, you know what? Send me the 100K. I will 5x it, and then I promise to send it back. Man, not gonna lie, if you were a gamer, you could be Nick's Mercs level. What's that even mean, Nick's Mercs level? What does that mean? Should I switch careers? Should I just become a gambling and gaming streamer? Is that better? I'm getting hungry, boys. It's like 8:20. Okay. 72 to 52K. Yeah, dude, if we get down here, I still think it's a good buy. I really do. Do you base your profit target on time frame? Yeah. Usually for the TP, it's based on the low time frame and the high time frame. Because if there's a high time frame draw on liquidity, right? Like on Bitcoin here, perfect example. I think we can trade up to here based on this weekly sweep. Now, if I go get in an entry on the hourly, like we did, maybe you just target here, and that's going to give you your 2R. But you can't forget the high time frame draw as part of it as well. So you can kind of combine those things together. Maine is the Bill Burr of crypto. I used to like Bill Burr a whole lot more. I feel like he became super woke. And like all he does is like he's like hating on Elon. Like I feel like old Bill Burr would make fun of the current Bill Burr. If I was a girl, would you let us hit it? Jason, you're a boy in crypto. You're a virgin. You're not hitting anything. I thought crypto was about 100x's, not 5x's. Well, the law of big numbers, bro. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So you're saying there's a chance? Yes, there's a chance. The cat man. I am the cat man. You definitely have a chance, I'm sure, of losing your virginity. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna cap it here for tonight. But we're back. Okay, we're back in action. Not that I went anywhere, but Easter's over. It's time to pay attention. I do think that this weekly strip is significant. So I know this stream was mostly yapping. I'm sorry. And maybe I got to have a better schedule than the yaps. But I do think that Bitcoin is in an interesting spot here with this downtrend line. And the two scenarios that I'm looking at, okay, just to kind of recap here, are scenario one, shallow pullback, okay, and then up towards the yearly open. Scenario two, deeper pullback, and then up towards the yearly open. So you see what's common between those two scenarios is they both end up with price trading higher. I guess there's a third scenario where we don't pull back at all and we get some like really bullish price action here. Like we start closing above these highs. Because until we do, this is still a downtrend, right? But if we can start closing above here, like confidently, then maybe there's a setup to be had just like straight above there on an SR flip. But I'm more inclined to think, somewhere around here or potentially somewhere down here. All right, guys. So I love you. I hope everyone had a great Easter. Spend some time with your family. We're back in action. We'll have another stream on Wednesday. Lock the fuck in. Make sure you're using all of my bullshit in the description. Check out Breakout. Check out The Haven. Check out my indicator. It draws your order blocks for you. I have a guy who's passing breakout challenges by using the indicator. Okay? Follow me on TikTok. I've been posting 3 to 4 TikToks a day like an absolute fucking loser. I'm 42 and a half and I'm on TikTok. So you better fucking follow it. Instagram, all the other bullshit. Or if you don't want to do any of that, at the very least, like the video, leave me a nice comment.